Hey, I'm so glad to speak into your life. I want to do something to speak some things through a lot of prayer and consecration, as I always do, that I believe will help us know where things are headed and how we should pray. I think that is the objective of any kind of prophetic foretelling or forecast or outcomes, is because you have to remain sensitive to the Spirit of God to know how we should pray and how we should approach the next few months. So with that being said, there are some things that I had been meditating on, and I want to speak some of these things for us to know what to see for and what to pray. And I'm going to do this periodically. So I'm just going to say for the months of January and February, here's a prophetic outlook, is what I'll call it, for January and February. Prophetic outlook for January and February. In the month of January, you're going to see spike COVID cases. And you will see some of the highest numbers we've seen. You're going to hear that there are record numbers of COVID. We've been hearing that, but there's going to be data in the month of January that suggests that it is like a peak, that COVID is at its highest. Another thing prophetically I will declare for us to be encouraged is that you will see that these next kind of few months until the winter season ends and the weather changes will be some of the highest COVID rates. Hear me by the Spirit. What we know for this level of COVID, it will be going down from here. All right. This next 2 to 3 months, January, February, going into March, what you will find out is that you will hear this, it will be going down from here. Now, that does not necessarily mean that it's disappearing, because I think that we're going to be wrestling with what COVID looks like, COVID culture looks like. I'll just put it that way, because you're going to start seeing these reports of other strands, other things, but the church will overcome. And I'm praying for you even now. There's no distance in the Spirit. You should receive healing for yourself concerning that. But these next months, I will say, just be on the lookout for prayer covering of loved ones. There will be peak spikes in the months of January, February, going into when the weather changes. But I declare that you will begin to see these numbers gradually decline, as we are now kind of getting used to COVID culture, is what I'm calling it, COVID culture, and the world shifting in that direction. Another thing you should prepare for, just to know to pray. And we know in part and we see in part, right? So we don't have it all, but we know in part and we see in part. The military is going to start being deployed more in cities across the United States. I am discerning if this is around the election, or let's just say outrage from one side, or etc. But protest and quote unquote riots concerning this will be the norm. You're going to see protests break out through organized groups. And the military through various cities will be released to step in. Now, why am I saying this? I'm saying this because as the church, our job is to pray. Our job is to cover leaders. Our job is to cover cities. So I'm saying that to not incite any kind of reaction other than to be prayerful. That is the reason. I'm saying that so that you know to pray, to press in prayer. All right. So expect that to happen with just military forces. There will be an unrest around this election period. And I'm going to say this, but I'm still discerning. I sense that whatever plans there are for the inauguration in the United States, there may be a delay. There may be a delay with that. There may be a delay. All right. But that's just January, generally speaking. In the month of February, you will see a full transition of power concerning this. You will see a full transition of power concerning this in the month of February. But after this, I'm going to tell you this, and you will see what we know as our president of the United States, President Trump, current president, because this is not after this. The taping of this video is pre the transition of power. He is going to announce that he is running again very soon. And I am going to even dare say he probably will announce this in the first half of the year. He will begin to drop hints about this after the dust kind of settles, in a sense, from these next couple months. He will begin to drop hints on this concerning his running again. So I say that to say, we know in part and we see in part, but you should expect him. He is not letting this go. He will be announcing one more time that he will run. Now, whether or not he does that, but he will announce that he's going to already kind of put his pieces in order to position himself for that. So those are some brief things. That was just concerning kind of the obvious hot button stuff right now. COVID, obviously the temperature gauge in our country, the United States, wherever you're watching this from, concerning that. Here's the third thing that I'm going to minister concerning finances and wealth distribution. Prophetic forecast outlook, if you will. I've been saying this, if you've been following me, I've been saying this probably for the last, 6 months. You are going to see, once this kind of transition of power happens, there's going to be cycles and cycles of funding for small businesses, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I've been saying this, and I hope you've been doing it. You need to, as of yesterday, incorporate as many businesses as you can and open up as many business accounts as you can, because financial floodgates are opening up over the course of these. I really feel like it's a 2-year window. All right. Starting kind of last year, going to this year, next year. I really believe it's like a 2-year window of wealth redistribution. People that were very, let's just say you were struggling financially, will have the opportunity to pull themselves up financially through a lot of the resources the government will be sending. Start your stuff. That's all I'm saying. Your business, your small business, you need to get your stuff incorporated legit, because there's going to be resources coming, and there's going to be a wave of this that's going to hit, so that you can position yourself properly. One of the things I always say prophetically is, if you know the future, you can navigate the present. Like, if you know where you're going, we can navigate the present. So every business owner, entrepreneur on here, visionary, you don't even have to have a whole business plan. You don't even have to have a whole document on what you want to do. You need to be filed. You need to be registered. You need to have an account with your business name on it, because resources, floodgates opening up to you to reposition you and prosper you financially. There is going to be, and I'm getting ahead of myself because I'm only going to do these forecasts as led probably for the next maybe 2 to 3 months at a time. But the next thing you're going to see, the economy, the worldwide economy, is going to be a very, very, very hot button topic. All right. And I believe that there will be 2 years of us seeing financial wealth redistribution, businesses, funding, people being able to get aid. But then I think the economy is going to hit a bump. So this is why you need to tap into this window. This is why you need to kind of tap in to the window concerning your wealth, your resources, what God has for you. All right. Your wealth, your resources, what God has for you. All right. So every entrepreneur, business owner, hear me. Get as many accounts as you can, because there's a wealth redistribution coming for these next 2 years. In addition to that, I would just say this generally. And again, I'm just kind of doing this for the next couple months. I'll probably do another one in March or April, but I'm just doing this for the next couple months. I want you for those of us who belong to the church, claim Christ, etc., etc. Oh, I'll do one more thing. For one of us that belong to the church, claim Christ, etc., etc., I want you to be very intentional that this season there are a lot of voices, and I will use this term. Be very careful to the voices, the ear, and don't be deceived by what sounds good, itching ears. This is a time for you to tune to the voice of your leader or who you submit to as a spiritual leader, because there are going to be a lot of voices, a lot of things politically, and even what you're going to see concerning the next administration presidentially is going to, let's just put it this way, is going to make the mainstream even more mainstream, which in many cases will conflict with the church and the principles of the church. And there will be, for lack of a better term, a muddying of the lines, contradiction, and the church will have to stand and be the church concerning these things. And I believe that it is just praying time in that aspect. So for those of us that belong to the church, I would just say that you want to be sensitive to laws, policies, and procedures that you will see in these next 2 years, to just know that you should be in prayer posture and prayer position. In addition to that, I will close with this. If you do anything in the information / virtual / coaching space, this will be a place where you can get your information out in terms of monetizing it. If you do anything where you can share information, share knowledge, share how to do something, the virtual coaching, virtual teaching space is a space that will, it's just going to be a forever place of prosperity. Develop your system for how you do this virtually. Develop your program. This is a place in this industry where I believe people are going to begin to tap in, and those who have a real skill set, a real gift, a real anointing for this, you're going to see prosperity. I'm Pastor Jonathan Richardson. This is a prophetic outlook for the next couple months. I will be uploading more videos like this. I do something called Prophetic Focus. It is personal prophetic coaching. I want you to visit my website. Click the tab that says Prophetic Focus. Shoot me a message. Tell me your goals so that we can go into the new year, and I will prophetically speak into your life, coach you into the next season. Continue to keep the faith. I speak grace and peace over you, and we will connect very soon. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you for being a part of this. God bless you. We'll talk soon.